Okay, so for this video, I'm just going to go through an unseen poem because those are usually the harder ones. Okay, so what do we need to look for? Okay, first your reader reads it for you. Then, okay, I'm not going to look at specifically their questions now. First, let's just look at the rhyme scheme. So in English, for rhyme scheme, you just need to name the letters. So the first line we call A and B and C and D and E and F. But here we've got these two rhymes, sunset, alphabet. So it would both be A. So it's A, and then following everything, B. Let's see if it continues. A, B, bread indeed, west best. So we can, bread and indeed, if you pronounce it differently, it could probably rhyme. And then here, bry, cry, strive, alive. African, falcon, high, deny. So don't just look at what the words look like. Go on what they sound like. So the rhyme scheme would be A, B. All right. Then anything, okay, alliteration and assonance. So assonance is repeating vowels, and alliteration repeating consonants. So that can also be something that they could ask. Okay, let's quickly read this first one, the first stanza. Okay, so that's another thing. Stanza is like a paragraph, but in a poem. So poem paragraphs are called stanzas. And when you're answering questions about poems, never say who the writer. Think about it as he's telling a story. It's basically storytelling, but in a different form. So it's not the writer, it is the character. Okay, let's quickly read this. It's 6:30 and I'm staring out at the sunset, listening to a young mother teaching her child the alphabet. The peace within that's overflowing, seeing clearly the beauty in everything. Okay, so he's basically looking out and naming things that he's seeing. You can also look, each one of these ones starts with a capital letter. If there's no rhyming and there's no capital letter, then we call it free verse. Okay, so I'm a South African, born and bred. We're a nation that stands together indeed. From north to south and east to west, we give nothing but our best. Okay, so what does born and bred mean? It means he was born here and he still lives here. So he goes from I am to we are. So it's personal, me, and then go to we, the whole nation. North, south, east, west, so basically everywhere. We give nothing but our best. Okay, together we bry, together we'll cry. Together we'll strive to keep this nation alive. So what is the sort of mood? He's hopeful. He's saying we'll push forward. So he's hopeful about the future. I'm proudly South African. I'll soar like a falcon. To shout it from up high, my heritage I'll never deny. So he's proud of being South African, so he's back to me. This is what I think about our country. The beauty within our land, to see all God has planned. From sunrise to sunset, this beauty we all met. So we all again. So this part is about talking about our land, we, all. And this part comes back to the beauty. So what is he seeing that is beautiful? Where great people come from and go to. Well, maybe that's just my point of view. I'm a South African born and bred, and what I've learned is that we're a nation that stands together indeed. So he repeats. Repetition is always for emphasis, which is a horrible word to spell. I know, it's the worst. Emphasis. Go check how you spell that, because I can't help you with that. Okay, so anything that repeats is always for emphasis. So here as well, together we'll bright, together we'll, it emphasizes. Okay, but now if they ask you why is it repeated, you can't just say for emphasis. You have to say what it is actually emphasizing. So here it's emphasizing that we're together, or that we do everything together. So bri is like a happy thing, cry is a sad thing. So we do all the good things together and the bad things together. Here, he's repeating something. I'm a South African born and bred. Where was that? Here. I'm a South African born and bred. So he repeats this part, but he changes it a little bit. It's my dog. So he changes it a little bit, and we call something that starts from the one thing and changes throughout the poem is called progression. Like progress, it's changing. So why is it different here than it was there? Because that is what he learned. So now it's back to the personal. So he's saying, well, that's just my point of view. So he's saying this whole thing is not a fact. It is an opinion. My opinion, it's getting so dark again here. It's load shedding. My opinion is that the nation will be good if we all stand together. So he just puts this piece in, what I've learned, so that he's saying basically it's what I've learned in my life. It might not be true for you. Okay, so let's look at some of the questions. So the rhyme scheme, we've already done that. So describe the scene in the opening stanza, so in stanza 1. So you can see here, it's 2 marks. Always check how many marks. So then you just describe it. So it's evening. He's looking at the sunset. He's hearing a mother helping her child with homework. And it is peaceful and beautiful. So again, use the words that they're using. Here's peace and beauty. But you can always change it to be peaceful or beautiful, so that you're using their words, but just in a slightly different way. Okay, what does it mean to be South African born and bred? It means you're born here and you live here. Okay, born and bred is a phrase that makes the reader feel a sense of pride. Quote 2 other phrases that has the same effect. Okay, so we're looking for 2 things. That's pride. So he says, so the question uses this line in the question. So then go look in that stanza. It gives you a clue of where to go look. So pride, because we're standing together. And here he also says, proudly South African. Or you can even say, my heritage I won't deny, because heritage is like where you're coming from. Okay, so here in stanza 3, the poet says, together we'll strive. What do you think the people that he's referring to will strive for? So go look at the line. So here, together we'll strive. So what are we striving for? To keep this nation alive. But you can't quote unless they told you to quote. So instead, you can say, we will strive to move South Africa forward, or to keep South Africa alive. See what I did again? Same as with the previous one. I'm using their words, but I'm just changing some things here and there. So they'll strive to keep South Africa alive. So look at the things that they give you in the question as clues of where to go look. Okay, so here comes the emphasis word that we don't like to spell. The word beauty is repeated 3 times. What does this say about the poet's opinion of the country? So he's emphasizing that the country is very beautiful. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not very, that wasn't a very hard one. If you can get past rephrasing and losing the word emphasis, do try that. Okay. Quote a phrase, so we have to have quotation marks. It's not just one word, it's a phrase, so words after each other. From the poem that has the same meaning as all day long or all the time during the day. Let's see. So we'll probably be a bit further now. The beauty in our country. Here it is. See, because in the previous sentence he was talking about beauty, so that's why I knew where to go look. From sunrise to sunset basically means the whole day, always. Okay. So the key thing, it's very difficult to practice for unseen poems, and I know a lot of people lose marks with the unseen poems because of that. But while your reader is reading it to you, think about what do I see? What is the mood here? What is the tone? What kind of images, what kind of stuff do I see? And then little things like, what is the rhyming pattern? What does that word mean? What does this phrase mean? And use their words. Please use their words. Because you know what's also cool about using their words? It's spelt right there in front of you. So if you can copy it correctly, which I know is also a problem for most of us dyslexics, but then you can, you don't have to think up too much of your own stuff. Try to take his things and puzzle it together. What I always say is, and with comprehension tests and also for unseen poems, it's basically treat it like a word search, like a puzzle. You have to go see what fits together with what. This part tells me something. This one tells me more information about it. Or this one says something and this part of the sentence tells me why. So think about it like a puzzle. And then which puzzle piece is the question asking for? And then it's sort of like a word search. Go, ooh, oh, there's that stuff. That's the puzzle piece I'm looking for. And then in your answer, go describe that puzzle piece. I hope that helps, but it's getting quite dark now. The power should be on soon. But I think then I will say good night, and I hope it helps very much.